Hello YouTube, this is a video, my very first YouTube video, showing my very first mealworm farm and my mealworm farm progression. So, these are my mealworm larvae. Actually, mealworms, a lot of people don't know this, but mealworms are beetles, and they belong to the order Coleoptera, which has what they call a holometabolous lifestyle. Or holometabolous life stages, meaning they have 4 different life stages. The actual larva is just one of 4 different stages. The first life stage is actually the egg stage. The eggs are basically pretty close to like microscopic. You can't see them with the naked eye. And then they molt. After they hatch, they molt through many different instars. I don't know how many instars. Instar is just a life stage between molts. It's just a term to describe that. Anyways, you can see that I've got, but after the larva stage, they go into a pupa stage, which I actually have a drawer full of pupas over here. You can see there's a ton of pupas. And then from the pupa stage, they go into another molt, and the final molt is the adult stage, which is just the beetle form. And they mate, and then after they mate, the females will burrow down into these oats, lay more eggs, and then you have more larvae. I keep them in a rolled oat substrate, which I purchase in bulk from a feed store. Before you put your worms in these oats, you might want to microwave them just to sterilize them, or put them in the oven just for a few minutes and heat them up real good. Sometimes oats will come with oat mites, which can actually destroy your mealworm colony. I also use these potatoes, and you can see this mealworm's munching on this little potato slice here, and they like the potato slices because it gives them some moisture. They're going to need moisture, otherwise you'll have large die-offs. You got to be careful though. You don't want to put too many potatoes in, because if you put them in faster than what they can consume them, the potatoes will grow mold, and then you'll have large quantities of mealworms dying off. So you just put a little bit in at a time, according to how many larvae you have. You gotta keep it, you just eyeball it, see how fast they consume them. And then over here, again, I'll show you this again. I've got my pupa drawer. I drilled these holes in the bottom. I've got 4 big holes. I've got 2 more in the back. They're hard to see. But as the pupa molt into their adult stage, typically what the beetles will do is they'll just kind of randomly crawl around, and they'll find one of these holes and they'll drop down. I don't have any oats in here, I don't have any food source, so they're going to gravitate towards these holes, and they're going to drop down through those holes into this next drawer here, which is my beetle drawer. And again, I'll show you this again. I've got a ton of beetles going. Now I've got potato slices in here because these beetles, once they mate, the females are going to burrow down under the oats, lay eggs, and then those eggs are going to hatch into very, very tiny, barely visible larvae. Basically, just very small mealworms. And those mealworms are going to seek out those potato slices for moisture. And I also got some water crystals for the beetles themselves, to give them a little bit of moisture. I threw a few greens in here. I wasn't sure if the beetles would really consume those or not, but it looks like they might be munching on those a little bit. Anyways, that's my beetle farm. That's my mealworm farm, I mean. And that's basically how you farm them. They're pretty easy. So I'll make an updated video later once I start getting baby mealworms.